Guys, PulseChain and PulseX are finally here. It's been almost 2 years, but here we are. PulseChain mainnet is up and running. So how was the launch? Did you mess up already? Of course, only the people who sacrificed have been able to trade their tokens so far, but the launch played out exactly as I expected and showed you 1 year ago. If you followed my advice, you've done absolutely amazing because you are already up massively and you're on the path to becoming a millionaire with ease. I'm not joking. But of course, only if PulseChain continues to perform well. But why am I making this video since PulseChain is already launched and this strategy won't be beneficial anymore? Well, that's actually not the case, because so many people are still waiting on the sidelines because they need PLS for gas to make a transaction, and we will see the same exact pattern again when the bridge is fixed. So the life-changing opportunities are still here, guys. I just ask you to stick with me throughout this whole video so you don't miss anything and mess up somewhere. Honestly, it's very important to understand the whole concept in order to take the right decisions at the right time, which will lead to thousands of X's in return. So without wasting more time, let's find out what we're gonna do when the floodgates are open and you can finally buy PulseChain or PulseX if you haven't sacrificed. So the first thing I wanna say is to go back and watch my launch strategy video, which I did almost 1 year ago, where I talk more in depth about my strategy, so everything will make perfect sense after that. You will also see that PulseChain and PulseX launch played out exactly as I showed you, and there is no way anyone else is in a better spot than you if you did exactly what I told you. I just basically nailed the launch. I'm gonna leave a link to that video down in the description to check it out after this one. But if I have to summarize it, I told you to buy as soon as you possibly can with 50% of the capital you're willing to invest in either of these two projects. For the bullish scenario, if it doesn't retrace significantly and make an insane run to the upside. And of course, the other 50% is for the bearish scenario, if everybody is starting to sell their tokens because their money has been locked for so long, so you'll be able to buy much lower and not miss the generational wealth opportunity. Now, after you watch my PulseChain launch strategy, where I show you how to outperform absolutely everyone during the launch and be able to generate millions with as little as $1,000 initial capital, you will notice that the key element to the strategy is to remove the noise, eliminate the emotions, convictions, and etc., and just stick to the plan. And of course, the actual launch is key. The 50% you're gonna put in as soon as you can is not for your moon back. This 50% will actually give you the initial boost that you need in order to accumulate as much as you can later on at the lowest possible price. So the amount of coins you will hold will be multiple times more. So like I said in my other video, I expected PulseChain to pump 4-5x right after the launch, and as you can see, the initial pump was around 7x. Now I want to point out that this strategy is not based on buying the bottom and selling the top, because this is completely impossible and foolish as a goal. Also, most likely you wouldn't be able to take advantage of this launch price because everything happens so quickly, and so your personal goal should fit within this range of 4-5x. And if you bought over here somewhere, for example, you shouldn't expect to make 4-5x and then sell. Mark, let's say 4x right here, and no matter how much gains you made, just sell your bag for a profit. In this case, at 2x. If we say that the initial capital you're willing to invest in PulseChain is $1,000, 50% is $500, right? And so in this case, you made 2x on $500, so now you have $1,500 in total. As you can see, the price continued to rally, but you shouldn't be worried about that. And remember not to FOMO back in. If you've been in the crypto space long enough, you must know at this point that whatever goes up, it comes back down eventually. Patience is key. In my previous video, I said that my general expectations after the first pump are the price to pull back 80 to 90%. And like in my previous example, don't aim to nail the bottom. So it's reasonable to deploy capital at 80% pullback and not wait to get that sweet 90 or even 95%. Sometimes they don't come. But also, you should never deploy your whole capital at one entry. I would recommend making multiple entries starting from 50% all the way down to 80%, accumulating at each 10% drop. So at 50%, at 60%, at 70%, and your last entry at 80% pullback. By doing that, you're ensuring that you won't be out of the market in case the price starts to push back to the upside, and you are 100% on the sidelines waiting for 80%, but they never come. Nothing is for sure. And like I always say, you must have a bullish plan and a bearish plan. And so DCAing on the way down starting from 50% makes a lot of sense and eliminates the risk of missing the train. Of course, the price might not go down 80% too, and some of your liquidity won't be deployed, but you never know if it's going to go down 80, 90 or 95%. You could buy significantly more tokens at 90% pullback, for example, but is it gonna come? As you can see, in this example didn't come and 80% 80% would have been a great entry, absolutely nailing the bottom. And of course, if you want to be more on the safe side, you could have set your last entry at 70% just to make sure you won't stay on cash while the price decides to reverse and shoot to the moon. And at this point, you might be asking yourself a couple of questions, like, it's easy to say what to do in hindsight, or what I'm supposed to do with this information now. But if you watched my video from a year ago, you'll see that I said the exact same things back then, and that was my strategy without having the chart in front of me. And also, the reason I'm showing you all that is because I think once the bridge is open and people are able to easily buy PLS for gas to make transactions, the price will do something very similar to the launch. So a couple of X's up and then up to 80% pullback again. So basically you'll have the chance to implement this strategy again and significantly increasing your long-term holdings. Now, speaking about the long term, I want to say some very important stuff, like what is a realistic expectation in terms of potential returns, and what are pure speculation and moonboys talk within the community just to hype up the project. If this is not your first time on my channel, you should know that I always try my best to give an unbiased perspective for the projects I'm talking about. And I say things that I know some people might not like and I might be hated in the comments, but I speak facts and I'm not here to hype up, shill or pump and dump on my viewers so I can make money off of them. I'm sorry if someone's feelings get hurt, but I prefer to lose subscribers rather than be the reason to make people hold Hex since it was 50 cents, because so many Hex influencers were calling for $1 back then. And speaking about Hex, I want to quickly mention that if you follow my videos, I called the bottom for Hex around here when the price was around 3-4 cents. Everybody was laughing at me and saying that there's no way Hex is going to 1 cent. Well, that was indeed the bottom, at least so far, because I also said that I wouldn't recommend getting into Hex before the Pulsechain launch, because I don't see a single reason for people to stay on Hex on the Ethereum side when there will be Hex on the Pulsechain side, where they can pay so much less gas fees to stake and unstake their Hex, and we know that they had to pay as high as $500 during the last bull market on Ethereum. The gas fees were insane, and even for buys and sells, the fees on Uniswap were absolutely bonkers during the bull run. Why would people choose to stay on Hex on the Ethereum side? Hex is a store of value. You can store that value on the Pulsechain side. Plus, you have so much more upside potential buying cheaper Hex on the Pulsechain side. And on top of that, you have 2 more Richard Heart projects to invest in. Yeah, there will be much more people to get in, but the liquidity will be spread across multiple projects and not just one. Of course, I'm not saying Hex on the Ethereum side is completely done, even though there's a chance this could be the case, but I don't see new all-time highs. Honestly, I said many times that I will be extremely cautious until the Pulsechain is launched, because I want to see how the market will react. And as you can see, boom, in just 3 days the price dropped 80%. That's insane. The price absolutely collapsed, and you can see this big fat red daily candle of 67%. That's in a single day. Of course, whoever was in this pump made very good gains following the hype around the news about the Pulsechain launch, but I hope you cashed out on time, because I'm sure many didn't. But if Hex on the Ethereum side is not a good investment in terms of great upside potential, how high can Pulsechain go and how much you can actually make? Can you make 10,000x? Well, let's find out. But before I jump into it, I want to clarify that this is based on the data and not what I want or I don't want. The numbers are only rough estimates, again based on the data and my expectations. So if we take a look at this wrapped PLS and DAI pair on PulseX and assume that this market cap is accurate, that means Pulsechain currently sits at around $1.5 billion. This sounds like a lot, but in order to find out how high the price can go, we need to compare it to something. Otherwise, it would be a 100% blind guess. So if I go to CoinMarketCap and check the all-time high market cap of Hex during the last bull run, we can see that it managed to reach almost $85 billion. Now, I must say that Pulsechain is actually a layer 1, and it's better to have a look at how the other layer 1s have done rather than looking at Hex. But I think it's also reasonable to have the Hex market cap in mind, since the majority of Pulsechain investors will be from the Hex community. So I'm gonna keep the Hex market cap in mind, and I'll have a look at the top layer 1s by market cap. And I'll skip Bitcoin and Ethereum because they are just simply on another level, and I'm just gonna jump to the Binance Smart Chain. So I'm gonna switch the chart to see how high the market cap went during the last bull market, and as you can see, it reached a little bit over $100 billion. However, if I go back to the beginning of the chart, you can see that in its early days, the market cap of BNB was as low as $10 million. So I hope you are good in math and you can tell that this is a clear 10,000x. But the funny thing is that the market cap indeed managed to do 10,000x, but the price didn't. If I take as a reference point the all-time high of the market cap, which is $109 billion, and let's say the 2nd of August 2017, as the market cap is almost exactly $10 million, and now I switch back to the price chart and check the price of these dates, we can see that we have $654 for the top, and the price on 2nd of August 2017 was almost 10 cents. So this is clearly not a 10,000x, and if you can't do the math, this is actually 6,540x, so significantly less. And I'm showing you all that so you can adjust your price predictions, or return predictions I should say, if you calculate them based on the market cap. But anyway, I wanna show you a few other layer ones to see how high they went during the bull run so we can finalize our prediction for PulseChain. I'll have a look at XRP now, and if I go to the market cap chart again, we can see that XRP managed to reach $117 billion market cap in 2018, and we can speculate why it didn't put a higher high in 2021. Maybe it's because of the SEC case, but it is what it is, and that's the highest it went so far. We can also look at Cardano because it is within the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap, and as you can see, Cardano didn't even manage to reach a $100 billion market cap. So I don't want to go further down the list of cryptocurrencies to show you all of them, and I think it's common sense that they didn't reach a $100 billion market cap either. And of course, considering the HEX market cap, we can conclude that maybe, just maybe, $100 billion is the highest that PulseChain can go. And I mean the highest. I really don't think PulseChain will reach $100 billion market cap, and I don't mean at all, but I'm saying for the next bull run. And that's simply because of the comparison to the other layer ones in the space, and the fact that Richard Hart has multiple projects now. Some people just love PulseX and are super bullish on the buy and burn function. Some people are mad in love with HEX and they will keep the majority of their portfolio in HEX. Some people love PulseChain and are super bullish. We have HEX on the PulseChain side as well, so the liquidity will be spread across so many different coins that I don't see a particular one pumping significantly higher than the other one. And when I say significantly higher, I mean for example PulseChain making 100x and PulseX only 10x. I'm curious to see which one is gonna be the top performer, but I personally think that would be PulseChain. And here, logically comes the main question: is PulseChain gonna make 10,000x? And the answer is maybe. But the thing is, you personally won't do 10,000x returns. As a matter of fact, if you invest now, my best guess is you would probably get 50, 60x, maybe 100x. And again, if the numbers are correct, that's because the current market cap is roughly $1.5 billion. And if you manage to make an entry at $1 billion just for the sake of making the math easy, and PulseChain goes all the way up to $100 billion market cap, that will be roughly 100x, but most likely less than that. So in terms of price, my best case scenario is for PulseChain to reach 2 cents. So if I measure from this opening price of PulseChain, which is by the way much lower than the sacrifice rate, and only now at the current price people are sitting at around break even, so technically even if PulseChain does 10,000x, that would be only valid for the price and not for the returns of people who invested. And that's the same with PulseX by the way. The price did multiple X's, but people who sacrificed more than a year ago are still underwater or at break even. But anyway, if I measure from the bottom here and go all the way up to 2 cents, we can see that the maximum returns we can expect are around 700x. Now this is not something I want or I have a crystal ball and I predict, but this is what the data tells me is reasonable and it's logical to be expected as the best case scenario. I know you would want to make 1000 or 10,000x returns, and I really hope I'm wrong and you do, but this is what I see. Now I must also say that if you are not happy with 50x or 100x gains over 2 years or so, you should probably visit your family doctor, honestly. That's an incredible and really life-changing returns. Putting in $10,000 and making 100x gains will turn you into a millionaire. You might probably want to retire in 2 years by making thousands of X's, but I'm here to say what I actually think and not what you wanna hear. Also, I wanna point out that when the bridge is finally up and running, the price pumps a couple of X's like I said, and then dumps more than 50%, and then probably continue to rally for a while. The price might go back down again. This is not the beginning of the bull market, and we are not heading straight towards 2 cents just yet. I still think a recession is around the corner, and we haven't seen the full effect of all the rate hikes yet. There is gonna be more blood in the markets in my opinion, so I would recommend keeping that in mind when you are building your investing strategy. Just don't let the hype around the launch fool you that PulseChain has its own market cycle and it's decoupled from Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. I do want to say that absolutely nothing in this video is financial advice, and the purpose is only educational. I recommend you watch my in-depth video about my PulseChain launch strategy next, as I do expect something very similar to play out when the bridge is finally open, so this strategy would be very useful. If you like my content and don't want to miss any future videos, subscribe to my channel. There are a lot more interesting videos coming up. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll I'll see you in the next one.